We interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast.
Boom! Headshot!
Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another League of Legends video. This time I want to talk about why buy Kennen. This is going to be an introductory guide to this champion. Kennen, he is a little Yordle ninja, and he is one sweet dude. He is in this League of Ninjas with, I believe it's Shen and Akali, according to the lore. I don't even know what they're all called, but he's one of those members, and he's a pretty sweet little dude. Very, very versatile in his builds, his setups, his playstyle. He can go almost any lane. He can go top, mid, or bottom. He can go AD, he can go AP, he can go a hybrid of both. And he can do a lot of really cool different things. He's got extremely high mobility. He has high damage. He has high CC. He can be bursty. He can be sustaining. I mean, he can really... he's an extremely versatile champion, one capable of doing a lot of different things. In this game, I take him into the top lane, and I play him as an AD bruiser, which is probably not the most common way to play him. This is one little trick, is camp in his brush while their opponent top laner helps the jungler leash blue, and just get some early damage off on him. You can see I landed a Q, some auto attacks, and he just cannot trade evenly with me. Just because I got the jump on him, I got my Q and a free auto attack before he even realized what was down, and he's already down pretty low on his health, so he's gonna have to go chug some pots. So just a little quick tip there for you top laners out there. But anyways, Kennen. I'm playing this game as an AD bruiser, but I would say for the most part people probably build him as an AP mage, focusing on like a Zhonya's Hourglass, Rabadon's, all other AP mage type of items. And then from there, using his CC, get in the middle of the team, use that Zhonya's, and just be really disruptive with your CC. See right here, getting some really big time early damage off on a Jace, throwing down an Ignite, getting him really, really low. Down to 46 HP, man. One more auto attack would have done it. I maybe should have flashed for it, but I was a little low myself, didn't want to overextend. And I'm already off to a great start in this lane. And so let's talk a little bit about why I chose AD Bruiser at first. And one of Kennen's greatest strengths is his ability to bully the lane. He is an extremely strong lane bully, capable. I mean, with his CC, you know, having an early stun is so powerful, and Kennen's definitely got that in spades. I was missing a couple creeps there. It's a whoops. But it turns him in. He's got good range. He's got good base damages. He's got a strong escape, so he's not really easily gankable. I mean, he's just he's a very, very strong early laning champion. And I try to take full advantage of that with this AD type of bruiser build, focusing on a Blade of the Rune King and a Frozen Mallet, and then kind of going from there. But let's talk about his skills and abilities, and then I'll get more into the gameplay as I go through this laning phase. First of all, his passive, Mark of the Storm. This is what makes him very strong. It basically, what happens is if you land any of your 3 abilities, you will stun your target. So it's pretty much as simple as that. If you land, getting totally minion block there. If you land 3 of your abilities on your enemy, it will stun them for 1 full second. It's pretty awesome, and it's just, it can be actually applied multiple times, repeatedly, for multiple stuns. And so what you want to do is, if you keep an eye on my enemy, anytime I use an ability, right here, using ability, you can see those little circles that are floating around him. Actually, right now they're on the minion, but if you get 3 of those little lightning circles spinning around the minion, or right at that moment it was the minion, but hopefully it will be around Jace. If you land 3 of those, you will get a stun off. So it makes him extremely strong. It's built-in CC. All you gotta do is land your abilities, and you will get a nice stun off. Moving on to his Q, well, and I'll talk more about how to proc hit that stun more later, but let's get into the rest of his abilities because they all kind of tie in together. His Q is his Thundering Shuriken. This will, it's a lined skill shot. It has about over 1,000 range, very low cooldown, very high damage, scales with ability power. It's basically his ranged farming tool and his harass tool. Very strong ability. You can pretty much just spam it at will because Kennen is a ranged champion, not a mana champion, so he doesn't have to worry about conserving mana. He's just cooldown and energy based, so you can pretty much just spam it however you want. Very strong ability. I pretty much use this to lead off my stun combo, is landing a Q, and then I kind of go from there. But it's a really strong ability. I use it to farm. It's great for helping you farm under tower. I take a point in it early, and if I'm playing AP Kennen, I like to max it either first or second. But overall, it's just very strong. Then moving on to his W, this is his electrical surge. And basically what this, it has a passive active component. The passive component is very interesting. After every 5th auto attack will be converted to magic damage, and then you will get a percentage of your magic damage added as total bonus damage. So I believe it starts at 60% or at 40% and goes all the way up to 80%. So as bonus AD. So this is what makes him very useful. This is pretty much the central component of an AD Kennen build, is maxing your W first and then getting as much out of that 5th auto attack as you can. Because up to 80% of your total AD at max rank, that's a pretty hefty boost of damage. And then it converts into magic damage as well. So if they're building armor against you, you totally bypass that and you don't have a single thing to worry about. So overall, it's just a very strong start. You can see actually in this game we had a Sona jungle, so she's going to come and help me out. Very, very random and awkward meeting Sona in the jungle. Very, very strange, but hey, what are you going to do? But anyways, then the active part of his W is anytime that you land a mark of the storm, you can trigger it with your W. So if you land either a Q or an E or your R, and then you hit W, it will activate those marks and add another mark of the storm and do damage to them. So it's a really nice, if you're playing AP Kennen, this is a central part of his wave clear and his burst damage. So if you get some Qs off, or if you get the passive from this, that also will add a mark. I forgot to add that. So every 5th auto attack will add a mark of the storm, and then your E, if you run through everybody with your electrical surge, that'll add a mark, and then you can use your W to like explode the marks and trigger them for bonus damage and an extra mark of the storm. I primarily use my W for both wave clear, and also I use this to be the final piece of my basic stun combo to kind of trigger that last mark to get the stun off. Then moving on to his E. And also one more thing about the W, this is one that I like to max first on an AD Kennen build, and also on an AP Kennen build. This is a solid choice to mark. You see I'm getting ganked here, but I'm going to go ahead and use my... I got a stun off there onto Jace, and then I was able to ignite him for the kill. So went 1 for 1, that's okay. Trundle helping him out with a nice gank there. But W very strong, I like to max it first. On an AP Kennen, I'd either max the Q or the W first, but on an AD Kennen build, the W is definitely the choice you want to max first. Then moving on to his E, this is his electrical rush. It's basically like a miniature ghost. It gives him intense movement speed, and it also, you ignore unit collision, and if you run through enemy units, you will deal damage to them and apply a mark of the storm. And you also gain bonus armor and magic resist. So you can see I used it right there to escape away. The movement speed is really, really nice. The mark of the storm is really nice. It's just a very, very fantastic. You can see using my ultimate here to get a bunch of stuns off onto Jace. And right there using my combo to burst him down and get him really, really low. And he's pretty much just a dead duck. Using my W right there to explode it, flash in, auto attack, and he's dead. So a good combo there. I'll come back to that maybe later. You can see Trundle's coming here, but I'm using my E right here to lightning rush away. You can see the nice burst of movement speed. This is one of a core part of his build, and it's one of the things that makes AD Kennen viable, is that he is so mobile. He is it's an extremely strong tool. One of the reasons why he's such a lane bully is that you cannot hardly gank him, because he'll just run away with you with his electrical rush and laugh all the way home. You can see using it right there just to make sure Trundle didn't get a chomp off on me. It just allows you to play very aggressively in lane and not be scared. So Lightning Rush is probably, in my AD build, I like to max this second, but for an AP build, you'd probably want to max it last. It just kind of lowers the cooldown, but the damage is not the core part of it. I would say that the movement speed is the core part of it, but you can use it as a part of your burst as well. Lastly, his ultimate, Slicing Maelstrom. I used it in that last fight on Jace, where it's kind of like a mobile Amumu ult, kind of. Not quite as strong, but that same concept, where basically it's an AoE damage and stun continuous. And basically what it will do is anybody inside of the circle around you is going to get zapped by your storm, and the storm will apply marks of the storm from your passive, and it will eventually stun them. So very, very strong team fighting ability, very strong for the CC that it brings, and if you're building AP, it also does pretty high damage. So very, very strong. I wouldn't say it's the strongest AP scaling, you know, ability in the world, but it is very, very nice for the CC. On an AD build, I primarily use it for the CC that it provides, not necessarily the damage, but it is still a very, very strong and powerful ability nonetheless. So those are his abilities. Basically, he's very, very capable of, you know, right there using my my E to run through all the creeps, and then using my W to trigger the mark. That's kind of his basic wave clearing combination right there. And then using auto attacks to finish them up. You can see the little swirling, the marks that are moving around them. But yeah, overall, he has a very nice kit, and it all kind of centers around his passive. All 4 of his abilities basically give you different ways to apply his passive, which is all about giving stuns. So I would say that the basic combination, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can either lead it off with a Q, follow it up with your E, run through them, and then finish it off with the W. That will give you 3 marks. Not really scared of this Trundle, just kind of harassing him here. Not really that afraid. Jace is going to try to knock me back, but I'm really not that scared. My E is going to come up again soon, and right there using my ultimate to get some stuns off. In turret range, I can use my Ignite, and I do go down. Oh, shoot. That's too bad. So getting them both really, really low, but nothing really good came of it. But it looks like they are going to be chasing. Let's see how this ends out. Chasing Trundle away here, but he is going to get away scot-free, so that is too bad. But anyways, as I was saying, his gameplay all revolves around proccing his passive as many times as you can, and I would say that the basic, most reliable combo is just lead off with your Q with the shuriken, run through them with your E, and then trigger that mark with your W for 3. One thing you can do that is also quite cool is you can use the passive from his W every 5th auto attack. That will trigger a mark. So you can use that as a very efficient way. You can see right there, look at my right now, my shuriken is electrically charged and was glowing. That means that the 5th auto attack on my passive on my W is procced, and it means that I am ready to apply a mark and do extra damage. You can use that as a part of your combo as well, and then also you can just pop your ultimate, and then that will definitely stun at least 1 or 2 people within your radius. So yeah, his stunning is very, very awesome. It just gives him, like I said, a ton of bully potential in lane. Having such a strong stun is very, very good. You can see I'm coming down here, roaming to help try and pick up a kill onto Trundle. Using my E to get in range. He has high mobility with his E. It's one of the best things that I like about Kennen, is he is just so extremely mobile. I'm going to get in range with another E here, run through Soraka to plant a mark, use my ultimate, getting some stuns. There's a stun onto Trundle, picking up the kill there. And here comes Jace. I'm going to get a little scared, though, as I get another stun off onto Soraka, and she goes down. Now I'm going to run away and get dove on by and flash away from the big scary Nocturne. And Soraka, I'm sorry, there's nothing I could do for you. But now I'm going to go into chase mode. I'm very mobile with my E, and I'm going to try to hopefully land a stun with my different skill combinations, helping Tristana and Nidalee chase down this Nocturne with a failed flash right there. That is unfortunate on his part. Throwing out a Q and helping pick up that kill. So, but as I was saying, his core gameplay all revolves around getting stuns. And when you're playing AP, you're going to focus on using your Q as your ranged damage, your E to kind of run through everything, and then your W to explode everything you just ran through with your E. That's kind of your main source of damage. Now with AD, Bruiser Kennen is kind of how I'm building him. You're more focusing on putting a lot of points into your W and proccing as many of those 5 auto attacks bonus damage as you can. And then using your mobility and your CC to kind of, you know, crowd control, keep you alive, keep you safe, and help you get in position to do damage with your auto attacks. Both ways are pretty viable and quite fun nonetheless. And it just makes him really interesting and fun to play because you've got so many different ways that you can be dangerous. You have so much you can bring to your teams. He's very strong in team fighting. You can see right here, I'm just running up to Jace. Going to land a Q, going to throw out my W, and get a stun off with the 5th auto on my auto attack, and use my E now to get into range right there. And throwing out my ultimate to make sure I get some guaranteed stuns. And there he finally goes down to auto attacks and a Q. Picking up a really easy kill there onto Jace. He just does not expect how much crowd control I have. I am just such a lane bully. You can see Jace is absolutely getting stomped right now. 28 to 90 CS, 4 and 2 versus 1 and 4. I mean, this is what Kennen does. He is an absolute lane bully, and when you're playing him AD like I am, yeah, this is really maximizing his abilities. Now with this AD bruiser build, it's kind of an on-hit build because I'm using the 5th auto attack for damage amplification. I'm using the Blade of the Ruin King as my main source of damage, giving me attack speed to help proc that 5th every more often. Then also using my I'm also probably going to be going for a Frozen Mallet to give me a little bit of extra tankiness, but also to give me a slow, so even more crowd control. On top of my stuns, I now have a slow, so even more effective with that type of a build. But overall, it's a really fun build, and it really maximizes Kennen's ability to harass and land. You can see right there, landing a QW just to harass Jace down, finishing up with the auto attack from my W to proc the mark, getting another stun. And right there, one more auto attack, but no! Nidalee steals that kill. But again, every time Jace comes back to lane, there's just nothing he can do. I'm extremely strong. And the basics of this bruiser build is that I get ahead, and then I start split pushing. Just a quick note about split pushing. Kennen is an extremely strong split pusher, and a couple of the reasons that makes split pushing strong in general is you want to have high mobility and have high dueling. Dueling means that you can 1v1 and that they're going to have to send more than one champion to try to stop you. And Kennen is a strong example of that. He has high mobility with his lightning rush, and he has very strong dueling capabilities with his passive because he can get stuns off. So because of that, it makes him a very strong split pusher. Whereas the AP build for Kennen is a little bit more of a team fight strong. You can just kind of dive into the middle with your high AP ratios. You're stunning everybody. You're doing a lot of AoE damage with your ultimate and with your E and your W. And then because you're running through everybody, you're proccing that mark with your W, using your ultimate, and then you can use the Zanya's Hourglass to help keep you safe. That's kind of the basics of the AP style build, as opposed to this AD bruiser build. But I'm gonna go ahead and steal this blue buff real quick. But overall, this AD build is a little bit more based on split pushing. And champions, I think Kennen is a very strong split pusher. Other champions that come to mind would be like Singed or a Nidalee. These champions that are very difficult for somebody to just run up and kill. They're very capable of handling their own. Even if they get caught out of position and flanked, they can just kind of run away. And they're really not that scared of getting caught out of position. So Kennen's a very strong example of that. And basically what I want to do, my objective in this game, is just totally dominate my lane and then start split pushing and snowball that lead. That's pretty much the objective for this AD bruiser type build. Again, I'm off split pushing. My team is in the mid lane. It's a 4v5 there, but here I am split pushing. And the enemy team, if they want to deal with me, they're going to have to send probably 2 members because Jace can't do it, Trundle can't do it. They just don't have enough power to really deal with me. So I'm forcing them to either, my team is not going to probably commit to a 4v5 because they see that I'm split pushing, but I'm going to force the enemy team to make a decision. Either lose a tower and engage in the 5v4, or if they want to send somebody to come fight me, then my team is going to be stronger because they're going to need to probably send 2 people to come and deal with me. So that's kind of the rationale behind this type of a split pushing AD Kennen strategy. But it's a really fun build, and it like I said, the greatest strength of this type of a build is his laning. Kennen is a very strong laner. He's got high mobility, he's got crowd control, he's got high base AD and attack speed, he's got 550 range. Just really capable of being a lane bully in ways that not a lot of other champions are. Especially against melee champions, I would say Kennen is a nightmare to lane against. There's just not a lot you can do. If he's building AP, he's going to throw that shuriken at you, proc the mark with the W, and if he wants to, he can run at you and stun you, or he can just laugh and get that energy back up and do it all over again in about 10 seconds. You see here, I'm just split pushing. Nocturne does not want to fight with me, so I'm just going to get this tower. It looks like in this situation they do want to fight me. Sona, so we get Dove, Nocturne, and I'm going to use my ultimate, going to totally just destroy this very, very behind Kog'Maw right there with my ulti. I'm using my spills to stun him, using my auto attacks to kill him, and now I'm just going to chase after Nocturne. Nocturne did manage to pick up Sona. I kind of wish she would have stayed with me. We could have team fought together, but this is going to go ill for him. There's a Q, there's a W to pick up the kill, and just going to run away from, even though there's really no reason to be scared of this Trundle. I was pinging this to help for Katarina to come help. Actually, looks like Nidalee's going to solo Dragon. But I'm really not that scared of Trundle. You know, there's really not a lot he can do against me. I can always get away. And it looks like Katarina is now coming. And going to get a Q, going to get a W. Where's the W? As we're kind of chasing around in this jungle, he's going to take a bite out of me here. But I'm not that scared because I baited him into that and get away with 30 HP. So, pretty bold play there for myself. But that is just about it. And at this point, the enemy team go ahead and surrenders. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Kennen is a really fun champion to play. Finished up my Frozen Mallet. Probably working maybe towards a Runance Hurricane. That's a very interesting item because it will actually cause you to proc his the W, passive on his W, in 3 auto attacks instead of 5 because of the side bolts count. But there's the end of the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this. A really interesting video, a little bit of a different type of build from Kennen, but I think it just highlights how versatile he can be. He's a really fun and strong champion to play. And I'm going to be experimenting with some of the more traditional AP builds soon, but I just picked him up recently and have been playing him as kind of this AD bruiser split pusher and having a ton of fun with it, and I wanted to share it with you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you got a good basic understanding of Kennen and his gameplay and some of his build options, and I will see you soon.